Today we start with the network optimization model. To learn what is the network optimization model. First, we learn what is the network optimization model. That is the introduction of the network optimization model. First, we know what is called the network. Network is a technique used for planning and scheduling of a large projects. Large projects in the field of the construction, maintenance, fabrication, purchasing of computer system, instantiations of the computer system, research and development, planning, etc. It is a method of minimizing the trouble, sports, delays, etc. in the various stages of the project. There is multitude of operations research situation that can be modeled and solved as a network. We are using in the large project. That large project we are breaking into the small piece of the work, and we are developing the plan to complete the job in a sequence. That is also applicable in the various business sector as also in the education sector, and that is we are optimized by using the operations research model. Some recent surveys report that as much of the real world mathematical programming problems can be represented by network related models. Network optimization or the network analysis, or we can call the network scheduling, is known by many names. Part, that is the program evaluation and review technique. CPM is the critical path method. PEP is the program evaluation the procedure. LCES, least cost estimating and scheduling. SCANS, scheduling and the control by the automated network system. So network system, that means we are handling the big project. That project we are using, solve or optimize by using the different method. That different methods is known as the part one of them. CPM is one of them. PEP is one of them, and LCE is one of them, or SCANS one of them. Network optimization model, that is the introduction. A project is defined as a combination of interrelated activities, all of which must be executed in a certain order for its completion. That means a project we are subdivided into a small piece of work. That piece of work is known as the activities. We learn the definition of activities in more elaborately, and all of which must be executed in a certain order. That means when we are breaking a project into a small piece of work or the job, we can say, so there is some order we have to maintain for completion the piece of the work, that the job, because one we cannot start unless until the one is finished. The work involved in a project can be divided into 3 phases. There is the 3 phase of the completing that the project, corresponding to the management function of planning, scheduling, and the controlling. First, we have to make the plan, how to arrange and how to break the project into the small piece of work. Now we have to arrange in a sequence or in the parallel or in a concurrent according to the activities, that is the piece of the job. Then you have to make a schedule, which one to be first, which one to be next, and which one to be done parallel, that is known as the concurrent, and which one to be done in the last. And controlling is time to time, you have to check what are the progress is going, that is known as the controlling. Three part is there. One is the planning, scheduling, and controlling. Here we discuss the two models of the networking. One is the CPM and the PART. CPM is the critical path method and PART is the program evaluation review technique. That two model we learn to network optimization model or represent the project in a network diagram and find out its calculation and all others related calculations. Now planning, what is called the planning? That little bit I already discussed. Here we learn in the elaborately. This phase involves setting the objectives of the project as well as the assumptions to be made. It also involves the listing of the tasks or the jobs. That means breaking the project into the small piece of work or the tasks, that is known as the tasks or the jobs, that must be performed in order. That means which one to be performed first, which one to be performed next, in order to complete a project under consideration. In this phase, in addition to the estimates of the cost, so to completing the piece of the work, what is the cost related to that and the duration related to that. When how much time required to complete that piece of work and how much cost involved to completion that piece of work. In this phase, in addition to the estimates of the cost and during of these various activities, the manpower also we need. That means when you are talking about the duration of the job, that's why to complete that the piece of the work, we need the manpower. And if we increase the manpower, then the time will take the less, and if we decrease the manpower, time will take the more. And what are the machineries, mechanisms, and the materials, machines and materials, what are the required for this the project? The object are also the determined. That means what are the things we have to determine, that is the in this planning phase we have to estimate the duration, costing, and the manpower, and the what are the materials and the machines we need to complete that particular piece of job. Now scheduling. What is called the scheduling to complete the project? This consists of laying the activities according to their order of precedence and determining the following. In this case, we have to arrange that the piece of work in a sequence, few to be in parallel, that is the concurrent, which one to be the completion first, which one to be completed the next. That is in terminology is known as the precedence. We have to arrange in a precedence order. And start and the finish time for each activity. What is called the activities? We are not giving actual definition of the activity. The piece of work, whatever we are breaking the main project into a piece of work, that is known as the activity. Each and activity has the start time and end time. That is the time duration to be fixed for each and every activity. The critical path on which the activities requires the special attention. Actual definition of critical path we learn later on, but critical path is the most important path in which those activities are present or lying. We have to take special care because to completion of those activities we cannot delay, and other activities we find out that later on that we can delay to completion of some activities, but some activities we cannot delay to complete that activity. We have to complete that activity, that activities which is under the critical path or lying in the critical path, we have to complete within the scheduled time. The slack and the float for the non-critical paths. You have to find out the slack and the float times. Those activities are not lying in the critical path. That means we can delay for those activities not lying in the critical path, that we can find out how much time we can delay for that particular type of activities. Controlling. What is called the controlling? Basically, we have to control that the activities, those are under the process, it is actually done in scheduled time or not. If it is not done in scheduled time, then we have to change our planning and we have to re-execute and we have to make a reschedule. This phase is exercise after the planning and scheduling. It involves the following points: making periodical progress reports, reviewing the progress. That means we have to prepare a progress report. That means we have to look after the jobs is completed into the scheduled time or not. Reviewing the progress, analyzing the status of the project. That means analyze means how much it completed and how much is pending within the scheduled time. If it is not completed as per the scheduled time, then we have to reschedule it. Making management decision regarding the updating, tracing and the resource allocation, etc. If we need, suppose few activities are not completed within the scheduled time, then you have to check what is the fault is there. Either you have to increase the resource person, that is the human or the materials, but why it was delayed, that we have to analyze. Then we provide the appropriate things to complete those activities are not completed within the scheduled period. Now, objectives of the network optimization model. What is the objectives? After going through this unit, students will be able to differentiate between the part and CPM. Identify the components of the part and CPM network. Explain the precedence relationship in part and CPM. Apply part for the project management. So after completion of this network optimization model, students are able to differentiate between the part and CPM, identify the components, define components in the part and also in the CPM model. Part is the program evaluation review technique. CPM is the critical path method, the network model. Explain the precedence relationship in the part and the CPM and apply the part for the project management. They are able to apply the part and CPM in the project management. Now we come to the basic terminology that we are going to use in the further mode or in the later on. To understand the network techniques, one should be familiar with a few basic terms, of which both the CPM and the part are specially applications. That means special basic terminology we are using in the network model, CPM and the part that we have to learn first, and we have to get the clear concept of that, because we are going to apply this is in our the network optimization model. Activity, what is called the activity? I already little bit discussed about the what is called the activity. All projects may be viewed as being the composed of the operations. The different operations in a project and the tasks called the activities. The different operations and the tasks is involved in a project, that according to that we can break that the project in a piece of work. That piece of work is called the activities, which require time and the resources. To complete the activity we need the time, and to complete the activity we need the resources. Resources mainly some machineries or materials, and the same time we need the manpower. Resources is that. Time is the in time frame we have to complete that the activities. For their accomplishment, activities are represented by the arrow. In this chapter, we are representing activity by an arrow, not by the notation. We are represented the activities by the arrow notation, not by the notation. It cannot be until the completion of the preceding activities. Now, this is the one activity, and another is the, we can call it, there is the another activity is there. This is the starting of the activity, and this is the end of this activity. We are denoting here A is an activity. Now, it cannot be being, A cannot be start or next activity. Suppose after that there is another activity B is, B cannot start unless until the A is completed. So if B is the successor activity and A is the predecessor activity, this is the preceding activity and B is the successor activity. So successor activity we cannot start unless until the preceding activity is complete. Activity is denoted by the arrow notation with the capital letter. It has the start, this is called the node, and this is called the end node. That is the some number is there. Here for this example we are considering this is the ith node and this is the jth node. A activity start node is the ith and the end node is the jth node. Node is by denoted by a bubble or the circle, bubble or the circle with a number. Suppose if I say this is the 1 and 2, so activity A start node is 1 and end node is the 2. After that, suppose B activity is there 2 to 3. That means B is the successor unless until A is completed. We cannot start the B. Here A is called the activity and we are denoted like that. There are usually, they are classified into the 4 categories. That is usually they are classified into the 4 categories. A, predecessor activity, successor activity, concurrent activity, and dummy activity. These 4 I am explaining one by one. What are the 4 categories? Predecessor activity, successor activity, concurrent activity, dummy activity. Which one to be performed next? That is the successor. Which one already performed? And this is the depend upon that. Successor is depend upon the predecessor. Concurrent, those are running parallelly. Dummy, we are using for the dependence. Then I'm coming next. Event or the node. What is called the event or the node notation? The beginning and the end points of an activity are called the events or the nodes. Here I am considering the one activity. This is the arrow notation is the activity, and this is the node, and this is the another node. The beginning and the end points. This is the beginning denoted by a circle or bubble. This is the end denoted by circle or bubble of an activity are called the events or the nodes. The starting of the activity is the node and ending of the activity is also the node, or we can call it the event. Event take place at a particular instance of the time. Event is a particular instance, it is occurred in a particular instance of the time. We say that when the event is fired, activity can start. Unless until the event is fired, we cannot start the activity. So basically, in this situation, we say the instance of the time and does not consume any time or resource. Event or the node never consume any time or the resources. And we say as soon as the event fire, activity start. So this is only for the notation we are using in our the network optimization model. It is represented by a number, bubble or the circle. All activities must begin and end with the nodes. The head event called the, in this case, this is the head event where the activity is completed. That is the end node is known as the head event, and the start event is known as the tail event or the tail node. This is the tail node and this is the head node. In this diagram, jth node is the head node, or we can say that the head event. And in this case, the ith event is the tail event or the tail node. Jth event always has a number higher than the tail event. That means j is greater than I. Tail event, this is the head event number, always greater than the tail event number. If it is the 1, it may be 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. But if it is the 4, it will never be the 3. This number never be the less than the number of I. So j always strictly greater than I. Merge and burst events or the nodes. Events we can say, or we can say the nodes. First we discuss about the merge event. It is not necessary for an event to be ending event of only one activity, and it can be the ending event of 2 or more activities. Such an event is defined as a merge event. That means when more than one activity is complete in a end event is the same. When the more activities, this is the part of the, here this is the part, because that is the another start node is that, start node is that, start node is that. These 3 activities have the end node is the same. When the 2 or more activities have the end node is the same, then these activities are known as the merge, because they are merging in the same node. That's why it is known as the merged event, or this is the merge event or the nodes, because the activities here, the 3 activities are merging in the same node. That's why this node is known as the merge events or the node. Now we discuss about the burst event. Similarly, if the event happens to be the beginning event of the two or more activities. In this case, see, 4 activities start from the ith event. That means they are going out from the same event. That's why it is known as the burst event. If the event happens to be the beginning event of the 2 or more activities, it is defined as a burst event. Now, in this picture, A and B, both activities are merged in this event, and at the same time, C and D are the going out. So this event at the same time, merger and the burst event, merge and the burst event. Both A and B must finish before either C and D can start. In this situation, also we can explain C and D, that activity we cannot start unless until A and B are completed. So these two are entered into this event. This event with respect to this is the merge event, and with respect to C and D, it is the burst event. So in this case, we can say that the activity C and D we cannot start unless until the A and B is completed. In this case, A and B are the predecessor and C and D are the successor activities. Now project, what is called we learn the few definitions. With the help of that, we want to learn the definitions of the project. A project is defined as a combination of interrelated activities which must be executed in a certain order for its completion. That is, we already discussed, but this is the actual definitions. The project is defined as a combination of interrelated activities which must be executed in a certain order for its completions. That means when we are breaking the project into a piece of work, or in this case, we already learned the definition of activities. So you can say the activities, piece of activities, that piece of activities we have to execute in a certain order and for its completion. Network, what is called the network. Now, our heading is the network optimization model. Now we come to the definition, only the network, what is called the network. Network, it is the graphical representation of a logical and sequential connected activities and events. Events also known as the nodes. So when the project we can represent by a graphical representation or the pictorial representation with the node and activities in a project. Networks are also called the arrow diagrams because it is called the arrow diagrams because we are representing the network diagram with the help of node, that is the circular bubble, and the arrow represented by the activity. That's why sometimes it is known as the arrow diagrams. PART, program evaluation review technique, and CPM, critical path method, are the two most widely used network techniques we are going to use furthermore. Preceding activities. What is called the preceding activities? Little bit we already discussed. Activities that must be accomplished before a given event can occur are termed as a preceding activities. Succeeding activities. Activities that cannot be accomplished until an event has occurred are termed as the succeeding activities. Unless until the event fire, we cannot start the activity. That's why this definition is given with the help of the activities. Activities that must be accomplished before a given event can occur. That means we are representing the activity by the start node and the end node. That means the start event and the end event. So unless until the completed your head event, we cannot start. That's why it is given this type of the definition. Activities that cannot be accomplished until an event has occurred, and unless until the event is occurred, we cannot start the activity. That's why it is given that way. It is the succeeding activities. Concurrent activities. What is called the concurrent activity? That means basically in our normal terminology, we can say it is the parallel. Concurrent means the parallel. Two activities are run in a parallel. This classification is relative, which means that one activity can be preceding to a certain event, and the same activity can be succeeding to the same other event, or it may be a concurrent activity with one or the more activities. This is, I want to show you by using the diagram. So when the two activities are running and they are the predecessor of a particular activity, that way they are the concurrent. Otherwise, we can say when the one activity is depending on the two activities, that two activities are the concurrent activity. They may be the predecessor of one or the more activities. That time they are the concurrent. Dummy activity. Certain activities which neither consume the time nor resources but use simply to represent a connection or a link between the events are known as the dummies. It is shown in the network by a dotted line. I'm coming to the diagram. Now, dummy activity also we are using to represent the dependency. When a activity is dependent, completion of the two activities, sometimes it is not possible to link by the node notation to that particular activity with the other two activity, where this activity is depends the other two activities. That time we are using the dummy activity. Here we are explaining what is the concurrent and what is the dummy activity. The purpose of introducing the dummy activity is to maintain the uniqueness in the numbering system, as every activity may have a distinct set of the events by which the activity can be identified. Activity are named by the capital letter and nodes are numbered by the numeric number, and next node number always greater than the previous node number. This is the activity. So this is should be the greater than this, and this is the C is the activity. 3 should be greater than 2. Now in this case we see A is the activity, that is the predecessor of B and C. But here D is the successor. Unless until B can complete, we cannot start the D. That is represented by direct link. But at the same time, D is also dependent on the completion of the C. Now how we can do? That's why we are using a dummy activity by the dotted activity. using by the, this is known as the dummy activity, and this is not consume any resource or time. This is for the diagram representation. So in this case, B and C are the concurrent. These two activities running parallel. But unless until B and C complete, we cannot start the D. So that's why we cannot connect like that C. We cannot use like that the arc or the two parallel lines. That is the wrong diagram. So that's why C is finished in another node. B also finished in another node. From that, we can directly connect the D. And for dependency, we are using here the dummy. The maintaining the proper logic in the network. Dependency, for the purpose of the dependency, we are using here the dummy activity. Now, what are the common errors basically we are using when we are drawing the network? This is the common error. One by one I am coming. Looping or the cycling. In a network diagram, a looping error is also known as the cycling error. That means always when we are representing the network by a diagram or pictorial diagram, always we are moving from left to right. If we move to the previous one, this would be the left to right. It never be like that. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 2. It's never be like that. So if it is happened, that is called cycling. In a network diagram, a looping error is also known as a cycling error. Drawing an endless loop in a network is known as the error of looping. A loop can be found if an activity is represented as going back into the time. That means we are back to the start or the predecessor node. If it is the like that, A activity, then C, then again D, then B. So if it is used this way, so it is back to that. That means it is the looping. This form a loop. Then it is going to the. This is the common error when we are drawing the network diagram or we represent the network by the pictorial notation. Common errors, another common errors, that is called the dangling. Dangling is that no activity can be finished separately. No one activity can be finished separately. If it is finished separately, we have to connect that activity to the end node by using a dummy activity. To disconnect an activity before the completion of all the activities in a network diagram is known as the dangling. That means which is hanging separately. Which activity is hanging separately or completed separately, that is known as the dangling. But in the network diagram or the network project, no one activity can be finished separately. If it is finished separately, then we say, if it is the finished separately, then we say it is the dangling. If there is any dangling, then what we have to do, we have to connect. We cannot do like that by using the arc. We have to use another the dummy activity to represent this. We have to add here the another node. Then we have to add a dummy activity from this. Then you have to complete the diagram by using a dummy activity. Redundancy. If there is any redundancy, that means if it is appeared twice, then we have to remove either one, like that in this figure. If a dummy activity is the only activity emanating from the event and can be eliminated, it is shown as a redundancy. In this figure, in this network diagram, see, this is A, this is B, and this is C. So A and C have the same end node, and from that end node again, D and E have the same start node. But this end node of the A and C and start node of the D and E, we are connected by the dummy, but we can remove either one by shifting. This is here. So we can remove this. We can remove this. So we can remove either one. Then we can make this diagram. So this is known as our redundancy. This is known as the redundant. That means we can remove one. Rules for construction of the network diagram. Now, when we are drawing a network diagram, you have to follow the rules. That following rules is there. You have to follow this. Otherwise, we face the problem to drawing the network diagram. Rules for construction of the network diagram. There are a number of rules in connection with the handling of events and the activities of a project network that should be followed. Number one, each activity is represented by one and only one arrow. So for a particular one activity, we are represented by an arrow, not by one arrow. We cannot represent one or more activity. Only one activity we can represent it by only one arrow. No two activities can be identified by the same beginning and end events. No two activities can be identified by the same beginning events and end events. Before an activity can be undertaken, all preceding ones must be completed. When we start the next activities, preceding activities should be completed. The arrow depicting various activities are indicative of the logical precedence only. When you are represented the activity by the arrow, that means the depicting means it is represented by the arrow. So activities are indicative of the logical precedence only. That means when we are representing the activity by arrow, so start node is there and end node. So next one we start, so it represents the logical indicative. So from left to right, that means it is moving from left to right. So this node is the precedence and this is the succession, tail and head. Rule 5. The flow of the diagram should be from left to right. That means when we are representing the network diagram, the project by network diagram, it is from flow of this left to right. Avoid the mixing two directions. Vertical and the standing arrows may be used if necessary, but my concern, instead of using the vertical, it should be little bit angle to the right from left to right, little bit angle from left to right. Arrows should not be crossed unless completely unavoidable. If it is not possible to draw a activity, then we can use the cross, but we try to avoid the cross the another activity when we drawing the another activity. If it is not possible, then we can, but we try to avoid that. Angle between the arrows should be as large as possible. That means if the two activity is out from, that means a burst from an node, that angle should be much more. Then it will be, the pictorial diagram should be more clear to us. Dummies should be introduced. It is extremely necessary. If it is necessary, then we can introduce. Otherwise, if alternate procedure is there to avoid the dummies, then we need not to use that the dummy. A dangling disconnected activity must be avoided. So you have to complete that the dangling connected by another dummy activity to the end nodes. This is the sample diagram. The network has only one entry point, that is the start point, called the start event, and the one emergence called the end point. This is where the start and this is the end, and this is from moving from left to right. In this case, we are using the dummy because we have no any other alternate to dependency, because G activity depends upon the B and A. That's why we are using here the dummy activity. And each and every node have the number 1, this is 3, this is 2. So this is the predecessor node, a successor node. This is the predecessor node. Predecessor node number is less than the successor node number. There is also that. This is 5, 2 and 5, 3 and 5, 2 to 4, 4 to that. So again, you try to avoid the vertical line, arrow line. It is should be little bit angular to the left to right. In this case, it is also little bit left to right, and this angle should be more. So this is the start node, this is the end node. So next we learn another topics in the next class.